Hello, peoples. Wagwan, wagwan. It's Sports and Banter. This is episode number 2. And as the title says, martial arts as Anthony shines. You know what I mean? Great goal from Anthony Martial today. Arsenal's winning run comes to an end down at the Palace, and Danny believes in miracles, the old miracle man, Danny Jacobs, picking up his IBF middleweight title. So yeah, we're going to crack into it. We've got the usual panel with us today. We've got Mr. Hassan. What's going on, Hass?
What you say, man? You all right?
Yeah, man, all good, all good. We've got Mr. Ellis. What's going on, Ellis?
What's happening, people? We all right?
Yeah, all good, all good. Mr. Hack D. What's going on, Hack?
Yep. I'm all good, man. I'm all good.
Good man, good man. We'll wait for you. We've got old Hakan and old Hassan here, the two North London scumbags. They'll be crying their hearts out tomorrow. But today, you know what I mean, it's the Arsenal guys that are we're weeping at the moment, but it's still all good. It's still all good. Before we crack on the show, we just want to give a big shout out to all the Leicester City chairman, supporters, family members for the incident yesterday. Also, as well, Glenn Hoddle, to all your family members as well. You know, our thoughts are with you. I hope you get well soon. And to the Brighton, is it the Brighton?
Brighton
Was it
fan.
Brighton fan? Yeah,
Fan.
yeah. Shouts out to you as well. And I hope. Well, I don't know the severity of the Brighton fan, but yeah. Anyway, hope it's all good. Yeah. Right. So kick it off with the old football. Yesterday's results. Hassan, have you got yesterday's results? Should I run through them?
Yeah, I'll go through that now. Brighton and Hove Albion 1, Wolverhampton 0, Fulham 0, Bournemouth 3, Liverpool 4, Cardiff 1, Southampton, Newcastle 0-0, Watford won 3-0 against Huddersfield, Leicester City drew 1-1 with West Ham, and then today's results are Burnley 0, Chelsea 4, Palace, Arsenal 2-2, and Man United, Everton 2-1. Only game left is tomorrow, Man City Spurs.
We all know what's going to happen there.
Currently, the table sits as Liverpool sitting top on 26 points, Chelsea 24, Man City 23, game in hand, Arsenal 22, Spurs 21, game in hand, Bournemouth 20, Watford 19, Man United have gone up to 17. I won't go with the rest.
You can say tomorrow's game is a game between two title challengers, really, can't you?
I'll give it a rest, son.
Well, according to Pep Guardiola, isn't it?
Look, mate. You mean one title challenger, one team that just likes to think they're title challengers?
I'll just fucking with you, man.
Anyway, hey, talking about, in fact, who should we have a little chat about today? Should we have a chat about Wolves?
Yeah, I was going to go about that. Wolves.
Yeah, Wolves. They've impressed me for the start of the season. Obviously, coming up from the Championship. Obviously, everyone talks about their super agent with the super owners. Looks like they've got a super manager at the moment as well. But
He's decent.
He's decent. He's done some good business. And the way they're playing, you know, fair enough. They've got the players to do it, but you still got to gel them together. You know, you still got to put them out. You still got to train them in the week. You know, and coming up from the Championship to the Premier League, it's a big ask. But no, they've adapted to it well. Ellis, we'll go to you first. What do you think about Wolves this season so far?
Well, whilst you're speaking about Wolves, I think like the one player that's probably impressed me more than a lot this year has been Ruben Neves. Like every time I watch something, or watch Wolves in particular, he impresses me, and he looks like, has he gone there to be put in the shop window with the George Mendes link and stuff like that? I mean, the guy captained FC Porto at like 19 years old in the Champions League. The guy's blatantly got something about him. And Jota as well is a good player. They've got Gian Martino there. Wolves, like when I watch them, it almost stands out to me is if they had a killer number 9 striker, they could easily be top 8 team coming the end of the season. I think they're a decent side. I mean, they've also got players like Connor Cody and that have come on this year, and there's probably a shout like if England caps are getting handed around like they are at the moment with like the rebuilding phase and stuff like that, surely he's got to be in for a shout for one without too much longer.
Yeah, he has been decent this year. What about you, Hakan? What are you saying about Wolves this year?
To be honest, I thought they'd struggle a little bit more. I don't think their struggle is in like they'll be battling relegation. I think, but I thought they'd be in that bracket between 14th and 10th. But I think they'll finish in the top half. I think this year, and they've impressed the football they're playing. And I think I watched the game when they played away to Manchester United, and just the way they set up and the way they played. They played the better football at Manchester United at Old Trafford, if I remember rightly. Yeah, I've been quite impressed with him. Like I say, the Mendes link up, obviously he's made a massive impact on Wolves. So yeah, I'm quite impressed with him, to be honest. They seem to be
Yeah,
grinding out results.
they certainly are. They certainly are. And what about you, Hassan? What's your
I
take
mean,
on Wolves?
yeah, I mean, first and foremost, Wolves are currently sitting 10th, 1-4, drawn 3, lost 3, 15 points. So yeah, they're even on. They're even. Yeah, zero goal difference. So they're even on goals conceded and goals taken. Look, mate, Wolves last year were a decent outfit in the championship. In fact, I think they won it. They won it easy. They've come up this year, and I think they've done really well. You know, they're a top. They are. I do think they'll finish in the top 10 this year. I think Navas is something special. I think that, you know, given a bit more time, I don't envisage. I envisage him moving on in the summer. If I'm to be honest with you, it wouldn't surprise me if a big club come along and got him.
There've already been talks of City and United sniffing around him, haven't they?
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I think he's got that. I think he's got that quality about him. You know, I like their manager a lot. I think he's a good manager. I don't know what his name is, but yeah, I think he's a good manager. I'm pretty impressed with what he's done and the way he sets them up.
Next
But
Spurs manager, isn't he?
are Wolves going to be this team? Are going to be a stable team for the next 2, 3, 4 years? I don't know. You know, I'll be honest with you. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to have a good season this year, and then, you know, they sell a couple of their players because Mendes wants to make a few quid, and then they bring another load of players through, and then they're not good enough, or they need time to gel. So I don't know. But look, all the best to Wolves at the moment. They're doing well. They're an entertaining team to watch. So yeah, all the best to them at the moment, mate.
Yeah, but I mean, I have to say, out of the three promoted teams, I think Fulham actually spent more than them. I think in the summer.
Spent 100
Um,
mil for them, good.
Fulham, yeah, I think, and I think Wolves spent just under 100 mil. But the Wolves have definitely got going the quickest. Their players have definitely gelled the best. And yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think the next 2 or 3 years they're going to be knocking on the door for them Europa places. I think as long as old Mendes keeps feeding them, and I mean, because they've got the backing, you know, that then parachute payments are coming now. They've got a good chairman, good money behind them. So
Yeah,
I think,
but they've got to keep that going though. That's my thing. I mean, look at Huddersfield this year. Huddersfield done all right last year. Weren't
yeah,
nothing
but
sensational, but
yeah,
they've done
but
all right. Now they're sitting rock bottom. One team I'm impressed with, while we're
yeah,
on
but
that
hang
subject
on.
quickly,
Yeah, but Huddersfield didn't spend any money though, bro. That's the
they
difference.
spent more money than Spurs did.
Well, that's not hard, is it? I mean, you lot are
Exactly.
probably spending you lot are spending the minuses.
Oh,
Yeah,
but
no,
I tell you a
I
team that
just
has
think.
impressed me is
Hang on a
Brighton.
minute. Can I just finish on Wolves, mate, before you cut me
Yeah,
off?
right. Yeah, go on then.
uh, no, yeah, I just think now with the chairman behind them, they've got the money, they've got the players, and they've got the agent at the end of the day, and they've got the fan base. You know what I mean? And I think that they're going to be in and around it with the Evertons. I mean, look at Burnley. I think Burnley have fallen off now, but I think like things like Everton's, the Leicesters, you know, I mean, them teams that are going to be around the 7 to 10 mark, I think they'll be battling it out for them. And you never know, they might even pick up a little League Cup on the way and get into the old Europa. But I think the next 2 or 3 years, I think Wolves are definitely going to be in the Premier League to stay. But yeah, sorry, go on. I said, go on. Who else was
Yeah, I'd say
impressed you?
Brighton. Brighton impressed me, man. They come up, and I think they've now started to establish themselves as a what should we say a team from 15 to 10, you know, a stable Premier League club. You know what I mean? A club that, you know, I don't think they're going to go down this year with the way they're going. They're sitting above Leicester at the moment. Do you know what I mean? Which is not hard. It's not like Leicester are great, is it? Do you know what I mean? No disrespect to them, but they had that
Yeah,
freak season a few years back, which was brilliant for them. But yeah, they've not really done anything. They're not kicked on from that. If not, they're declined. Do you know what I mean?
Brighton took West Brom spot.
Where
yeah,
Brighton have taken West Brom's spot.
in the
they
Premier
have.
League.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think I can keep investing a bit of money into them. Then I think Chris Hughton's doing all right there, mate.
Yeah, I think he's a good manager, Chris Hughton.
Yeah,
I think he got
overall.
stitched up massively at Newcastle.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and I think, players like Glenn Murray as well. Like,
And at Norwich as well.
Yeah.
He done a good job at Norwich, man.
Yeah, he did,
no, definitely.
Got his roots from Spurs, didn't he?
Got his roots from Spurs, but actually learnt the game when he moved.
Most probably.
Yeah, no, I mean Brighton. Yeah, Brighton are a good team. I think the things with the Premier League. I mean the bottom. I think from sort of like 12th to 20th. I think anyone can get sucked in. I think it's so close that I think no team really is secure. Really, from 12th to 20th, I don't think really any team secure. Who would have thought that Stoke would have got relegated? You know what I mean, like 2 seasons ago or anything. I just think it just depends on the week. Any team can beat any team, and it's just who's going to be the most consistent out of the.
Yeah, but that's the best thing about the Premier League, isn't it?
Yeah, of course, definitely,
I mean,
100%.
it's still early doors, you know what I mean? But between the relegation spaces and West Ham, who are sitting 13th, there's 3 points in it. But then you've got Leicester sitting 12th, who are one position above West Ham, and they've got a 5-point gap. So
Fulham are having a bad run at the moment, aren't they?
Who's that?
Fulham.
Oh, I tell you what, Fulham, yeah, they're having a stinker. Go on, Akan, you can shoot off with them.
Well, no, it's just that there's talks about the manager getting sacked, and he's got like a game or two to save his job, basically. And obviously, they've been on a bad little run lately. They've got some decent players, man. I still can't get hold of how Mitrovic was allowed to leave Newcastle when they haven't got a striker. It makes no sense.
That is typical Mike Ashley business, isn't it?
Yeah, but is that Mike Ashley or is that Rafa Benitez? Because surely Benitez, he's not a sort of player who you're going to make bundles of millions of pounds with, especially at the time. So why didn't they just keep him?
I'll be honest with you now, mate. I think Rafa Benitez, if we're talking about Newcastle, I think Rafa Benitez is the fucking top quality manager. How he's at Newcastle and how Newcastle managed to keep hold of him is beyond me.
He waited for the paycheck, isn't he?
Okay,
well, I don't think so.
But do you know what?
Yeah, sacked.
Fair enough. I mean, I do think Benitez is a good manager. But at what stage do people start saying, you know what? Yeah, fair enough. Look, his hands are tied. He's got what he's got. But at the same time, Newcastle are the bottom of the league, bro. And no manager really should really be excused for nothing. He could have left and he decided to stay. So if you decided to stay, then you've got to take what comes with it, innit?
100%, 100%. But my point here is that they went down. He went into the Championship. Rafa Benitez, Champions League winning fucking manager.
Yeah, fair play.
You know what I mean? Championship. He's done well. But look, Mike Ashley, he ain't backed his manager. He ain't backed his team. He's all about the money at the end of the day. And sorry, Willis. I think what Glenroy just said just a minute ago regarding, he chose to stay. I agree with that as well. He didn't have to stay, but maybe he just likes that challenge. I don't know.
I know we've had the chat before about best and worst chairman in the league, but surely Mike Ashley's up there with the worst.
Yeah,
the worst.
No. He's not the worst. He's second from worst because we've got the worst.
The team's crying out for some investment. Doesn't put any investment hardly into the team. Then goes out and spends 90 million acquiring House of Fraser as well.
Yeah, and how much is he worth?
3.2 billion in it.
Dollars, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So it's worth money to invest into the team. I don't get it. And then he wants ridiculous money for it.
I just don't understand though. He does want a stupid amount of money for it, but even so, as an investor, that's a club like
it's peanuts, really.
You pump some oil money into that club, and that club it's got the infrastructure just to go bang.
Everything's there is ready.
Yeah,
it's just ready to go boom.
Newcastle is a sleeping giant. It is a sleeping giant. Come on, like in the Championship, and you're still getting 50,000 fans turning up to your crowd. You know what I mean? In the Championship, I mean, it is. Yeah, that is that
selling out week after week when you go away as well.
And I mean, he's put a 300 mil price tag on it, but really, I don't think that's that bad, really. When you think about it, in the terms of football these days, 300 mil is nothing for a club like Newcastle, bro.
Yeah, but we've got to look at it on a
Hey,
business sense of things, mate. You know, like
Yeah.
what is
it,
you know, is
All
is
right,
the
look.
stadium, how much is the stadium worth? How much is the training facilities worth? What are the assets worth on its own?
Well, we'll put it like this, yeah. Even if you used to say you bought it for 300 mil, 3 seasons in the Premier League and that's paid off, mate. You got your money back.
Oh, let me ask you a question, right? I mean, I heard a little report a little while ago now, but I heard a little report that Daniel Levy wanted to sell for what, 1 billion? Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah,
if you put that into concept, the fact that our stadium cost 850 grand, we've got a state of the art training facility which costs 300 grand, 300 million. You know what I mean? I kind of like get that to a degree. Do you understand what I mean? But for 300 million pounds for a stadium that's pretty old now, holds a lot of people, but it's a relatively old stadium now, isn't it? It's had work done to it, and the
yeah. But
training facility isn't that
yeah,
great.
but they still own the stadium, don't they? Like Newcastle United still own their
Well,
stadium.
fucking loads to do by now.
It's still an asset. It's still a big asset at the end of it. And you got to think as well. There's no other clubs in Newcastle. So you know what I mean?
Sunderland's their rivals.
And
Yeah,
you got to think
that's
as well,
Sunderland. I said in
pro-
Newcastle. Newcastle is two different cities. It's like
property
Cambridge,
price,
Peterborough.
property in Newcastle, I can imagine, is 50 times cheaper than in London as well. So
Yeah,
even if
exactly.
Tottenham is a shithole, but do you know what I mean?
yeah, but you put it in perspective. You got £300 million. That's a Neymar and a Coutinho.
Yeah,
That's mad,
exactly.
though, isn't it? In football terms,
Exactly.
you put it in
It's
football
it's
terms like that.
peanuts, really. In football terms, it's peanuts when you think about it.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas
I
Harry
mean, you
Kane,
think their wage bill isn't going to be like humongous.
It's going to be
No.
peanuts, mate.
You
They
know
got
what I
a
mean?
wage bill.
They're still flipping budgeting on a championship budget.
I mean,
Yeah,
I can imagine Lascelles probably their highest earner.
yeah. I mean, you think the last time they broke their transfer record was when they brought Michael Owen for
Yeah,
16.5 mil. Now that is a joke.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Newcastle wage budget 112.2 million.
See what I mean? Put him. I suppose that's putting more than Spurs as well, isn't it?
When they're signing players like Rondon on
Nah,
loan as well.
it's not far
Oh,
off it, though. You say that though, Glenn, well, it's not far off it at all.
really? What's Spurs?
Spurs 126.9.
What's Arsenal's?
Double that.
200 mil.
Did you hear those?
199.4.
Who was it on the radio? Like not about 5-6 months ago that was saying Kieran Dyer. Do you remember when he
Yeah.
was on Talk Sport or something? And he said, "When I was at Newcastle, I was
He was on
earning
more
more. I
money
was
than.
earning more than some of Spurs' highest paid
Yeah,
earners now."
yeah. Have you seen that his interview on the True Geordie podcast?
Yeah, I have. It's decent, isn't it?
Very, very good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really, really good. Yeah.
Have you seen the
Yeah.
Nile Ranger one as well?
Yeah, that is a wicked
Yeah.
interview.
What's
He's a
this?
bad man, isn't he?
No.
Night Ranger.
Yeah.
You know, basically, there's the True Georgie podcast.
Oh, no, I haven't seen it. But yeah.
Yeah. He's got some good ones on there. I didn't bother watching the Shearer one. I don't like Shearer. He's a dick.
Yeah.
Prick. Right. Anyway, should we
Listen,
go
I've
to
got
the?
something else.
Anyways, let's stop plugging alternative podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. What about one quick question before we move off football? What about Watford? I think Watford have done all right this year, haven't they?
What about him?
I think they've done well. They're not a bad outfit. They're not a bad side. They've done well.
Nah,
You know?
to be fair, was it yesterday that they tore? Who did they tore up yesterday? I was watching the game yesterday, and they who?
3-0, didn't they?
Yeah. Oh man, that was it. The second
Huddersfield?
goal. I think it might
Yeah.
have
I
been.
mean, the
Yeah.
first goal was decent as well.
Yeah,
They
man.
beat
Oh,
Huddersfield 3-0.
yeah. Yeah. Watford.
Decent goal.
But Watford are one of them teams like last season, innit? They started off good, and then after Christmas, they just fade away.
Well, yeah, they had that little dip, didn't they, just after they beat Spurs?
And then they're gonna sack their manager.
And then they've gone. They didn't sack their manager.
So then they will go and sack their manager.
Oh right, yeah. And then they've just sort of picked it back up again. But look, hats off to them, they're doing well. And
Yeah.
before I finish off with football, Liverpool got back to winning ways, doing well. Chelsea as well. And
Oh yeah.
we'll see about Man City tomorrow.
Oh, one more quick football result actually. Matthew, you might be able to jump on this one of this. The old El Clasico.
Yeah, Barca done them over 5-1.
Suarez
5-1.
hat trick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So what does that mean for old Locatehi, whatever his name is? Can't pronounce it properly. You know who I mean, the old Spanish coach.
Surely his days got numbered there.
I mean, they're sitting ninth at the moment, Madrid.
Ninth.
Yeah, ninth.
Jeez,
Right,
doing
Man United.
Barcelona sitting top, and then second is Alves.
Oh, Alaves is second.
Alves is second, mate.
Jeez. Oh my days.
Then there's Atletico. So, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's a shocking result, to be fair. It just
Yeah.
goes to show how much damage one player can do. Cristiano Ronaldo leaving.
Is it the player though, or is it the manager? Or is it both, or is it the board? Because apparently, from what I mean, I've seen a couple of the Real fans now starting to get a bit wound up with that. Is it what's his name, Perez?
Florentino Perez.
Yeah.
Who's that picnic in the background?
Sorry, that's my picnic. I'm trying to.
Jesus. So what's the next topic then, guys?
Next topic, shall we go to how long we've been on? We can switch on the old boxing?
Yeah, so I think the specialised topic at the end could go on for quite a while. So
Yeah. So we better get on the old boxing. And before we do that, everybody, don't forget, push the like button, subscribe, and also push the bell button next to the subscribe button because that will let you know whenever we go live. God damn.
And follow us on Twitter, S&B Hangouts.
Oh yeah, and you can email us if you want any questions or anything on sportsandbanter@gmail.com. In fact, you know what as well? I keep forgetting to check the chat. Check the chat. But yeah, boxing. Who wants to kick off with last night's
I'll have a little spin off. Well, obviously we had the Hughie Fury Pulev fight, which we obviously done our live commentary on yesterday. We had the Cheeseman Byfield fight, which turned out to be a decent fight. We had the Ryder, and I'm going to say his name is Sharok, but I know it's not. But to be fair, Ryder was losing that fight, and then at early stages and come back into it and just wore him down. You had Reach's Progress batter Terry Flanagan in New Orleans. You had Jacobs scrape by with Derichenko in a good fight for the IBF middleweight title. He had a lot of boxing on last night, and there was some decent boxing. I'm just happy for Jacobs, to be honest, the miracle man.
I know we covered it last night, but I think we need to do also a special mention. Like Hughie Fury's eye, mate. I watched it again today, and that's a hole.
That is an absolute gaping hole, isn't it? In fact, should we have a little run through of that fight first? Should we have a little preview of that fight?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on, Ellis. You can crack it off. After Ellis, we'll go Hassan. After Hassan, Hakan, you give your 2 bits, and then I'll go after Hakan. So go on, Ellis, crack open.
A few things that stood out for me was that, first of all, fair play for Fury for not chucking in the towel or anything and seeing it through to the end, like proper warrior code, gypsy warrior code and whatever. But I think he got massively exposed last night as well. Was that one step too far for him? I think the fights he should probably be looking at, I think White would take him to the cleaners, personally. I think Chisora would be a good fight, but if he fights Chisora, if he loses, he's pretty much done in my eyes as well. And I probably would fancy, if the Derek Chisora that turned up for his last fight turns up for a fight like that with Hughie Fury, Chisora wins for me. So I think Hughie Fury's got a lot of thinking to do where he does go from here, because last night was probably his big opportunity, and he didn't take it. Had the eye thing not happened, then maybe it'd be a different story. But judging on what I saw last night, I couldn't really see that. I mean, what do you guys think?
I mean, for me, look, man, I think what we've got to take into concept of this all is Hughie Fury's only 24, mate. You know, Lennox Lewis turned pro at 24 and lost his first fight. Klitschko lost 3 times. You know, so obviously, I hope he does well. And he's still young, so he's still got a lot to come from. I thought he showed a good heart yesterday, like you mentioned, Matt. I thought he showed a really good heart on that. And, he could have easily just pulled out of that fight, and he chose not to. He went the full 12 rounds. He's done the best he could. It wasn't good enough, but at the same time, 24 years old, you fought Joseph Parker, you fought
And he was
Pulev.
unlucky
You
in
know
that
what I mean?
Parker fight. Like some people say he won it, some people don't. Like, but
Yeah, see, for me in that Parker fight, I just think he needs to do more to win. If you want to take someone's titles off him, you got to do more than just two combo jab and move, and
yeah,
two combo jab move. You know what I mean? That's my thing on that. So I don't think he deserved that win. Didn't deserve last night's win, but hats off to him. Credit where credit's due. He fought like a warrior. Hopefully, he learns a lot from it, and then he comes back even stronger and better. And good luck to him in the future. I hope we do see more of him.
no, definitely.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what. Hughie Fury. We speak about the fight last night itself. Obviously, the cut made a massive effect on the fight. Looking back at it, with that gaping hole in your eye, it's going to make an effect. You're mentally going to consistently thinking about that hole inside your head, isn't you, really? But obviously, I thought it was very one-dimensional yesterday. Just kept trying to hit him with a big shot with a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. Needs to work on his combos slightly more. But looking at Hughie Fury, like, he's 24 years old. Look how much experience he's had for a 24-year-old. Some heavyweights go on to their 40-year-old. So he's got like potentially another 16 years left in the sport if he really, really wanted to, just to carry on building himself up. And he's got the fights up there. I mean, he can go back to fight people like Dave Allen. Do you know what I mean? If we really wanted to.
Yeah.
Daniel Dubois.
Yeah.
Joe Joyce. Derek Chisora. Possibly Dillian White if really wanted to. I wouldn't jump straight into those. But I'd look to fight some European class fighters
Well, I'll
before
be honest
taking
with
that
you.
step up to world class in a few years' time.
Yeah, but I'll be honest with you now, man. I agree with what you're saying, Hakam, but I think Dillian White's done more than enough to be put in that category anymore.
Yeah, I think that as well. Yeah, I don't think. He's not ready for Dillian yet. But yeah, my quick thing on the fight. Yeah, I think first of all, big ups to Hughie for taking the fight, going out there. You know what I mean? And yeah, like at least just taking a chance. I think at the moment these days with the boxing, you find a lot of fighters these days aren't taking chances. Everyone's too scared to lose. They think that it's going to be the end of their careers. And yeah, so on that front, I'll big him up for that, man. And yeah, I think on the actual fight itself, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the cut did kind of spoil it. But however, I think he didn't really have a plan B. I just didn't see anywhere where he had a plan B. I didn't see anywhere where if they knew the cut, he'd been cut, and it was like that. It was like it was. You'd have thought that they would have at least had a strategy to, if that happens, then we'll revert to this or we'll go to that. But there just wasn't nothing. I think in the post interview with his old man, he said, I think the second ideas was to just take him out.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? That's not really
I didn't say that to you. Did you? Did you see the
yeah,
interview?
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
look, at
yeah.
the end of the day, mate, when your guy's been cut that high, you're fighting with one eye at the end of the day. Let's be honest about it.
Yeah, that's it. You are.
In any sensible boxer that's fighting against you is consistently going to try and jab off that hole. Keep punching you in the eye. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Make you put in the still. But
I
he
mean,
had no other choice but to throw it down and try and get him out there.
yeah, it's true. I mean, the only thing though, hang on, Stephen, mate. Hang on, mate. Wait your turn, son. You can go after me. All right. I've just been cut off already for the second time tonight. As I was. Yeah, but no, I just think that like there was no plan B. Like I said, like knowing how the eye was, and I just think there was it was looking like it was like a man against a child in there. Pulev, he showed a lot of ring craft. Them headlocks that he was putting in consistently. The referee didn't even give him one warning or nothing. And from basically this, I think it was from the second round. From the second round, he started getting him in them headlocks in the clinch, and Fury just didn't have no answer for it. You know, like he left his jab, he left all the fundamentals of boxing, and was letting Pulev get close to him or like get in the pockets, which where Pulev wants to be. So I think he kind of played into Pulev's hands, but I think more was that the cut kind of threw his whole game plan off. Mentally, he wasn't. I don't think he was tough enough to deal with the cut eye. Yeah, that's it really for me. Go on, then, Spongy. You jump in, mate.
Well, I think yes, I agree with you with the cut, but I also think that the cornerman actually got that under control. And so, whilst he did lose his game plan and he wanted to miss him out, to be fair, it's probably the right strategy. Cornerman stopped the bleeding. He could still see out of it, so he should have reverted back to the original game plan. But I think he found out in there that it's different levels.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that
see
cut guy
out.
was absolutely brilliant, man. He was an
A-star.
absolute brilliant cut guy.
Top man, but he couldn't see. Hughie still couldn't see out of that, man. His eye was swollen up. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
He
but
could still see out of it. If the eyelid was gone and he could still see out of it.
Stephen, think about if it was you, and he's a human being like every one of us, right? Obviously, but you got this massive bit of skin hanging off the top of your eyebrow now, yeah. Even though that's not bleeding, that's mentally making an impact. And someone jabs you, you're thinking, "Oh, my eye, my eye."
And the pain, the pain that he must have been going through as well. Because that was a good like 2 inch deep, man, and at least inch wide.
Did we actually know that was from the headbutt?
I've seen fighters win fights with worse injuries than that, but I'm not saying this. I'm not knocking him. You know, it was a really bad cut, but it looked like he got it. You know, he was comfortable with it after it stopped bleeding. But he just didn't have an answer. He had no power. He had a 1-2. That was it. And then it was so routine. You knew what he was going to throw.
I mean, I think I see what you're saying, Steve. Actually, I mean, going back to what Gilroy said earlier on, you know, like what you got to remember in that situation, it was like a boy fighting an experienced man,
Exactly.
and Pulev was just very clever. He knew what he was doing. Like, kept tying him up, getting him in a headlock, working him. I'll be honest with you as well. I think Pulev looked fucking good for what he. It's the best I've seen him look.
Mate, Pulev looked in better shape than Fury did. I'll tell you what, I wasn't really impressed with Fury's body shape, man. I mean, I know they're heavyweights in that, but for a young man at
Exactly. Your internet just died.
Who's?
Memories.
I mean, Pulev looked like he just come from flipping an audition at Baywatch or something, and flipping Hughie Fury looked like he just swam the Channel Tunnel or something. Can that well? He looked awful. He looked absolutely awful. But what was another fight that was on yesterday was
see Jacobs fight last. Danny Jacobs.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that in a sec. We're just going to quickly do the UK fights first.
Right.
Isaac Chamberlain and Luke Watkins.
Yeah.
What a fight. What a fight. I'll tell you what, I'll start off with this one, then we'll go to Hassan. Did you see it, Stephen?
Yeah, I watched it, yeah.
Yeah, we'll go. Right, you can go after Hassan, and then we'll finish off with Hakan and Ellis if he's back on. Right, so Luke Watkins, Isaac Chamberlain. I thought that this was a really good fight, actually. I really, really enjoyed this one. At first, I was a bit like, I didn't think it was going to be all that. I thought both of them coming off to a loss to a Coley, both, the Isaac Chamberlain and a Coley fight stunk the place out. Luke Watkins just got blazed. So I thought it was just going to be a bit of a dry fest, really. But this was a good fight, man. And I tell you what, man, I was really impressed with Chamberlain. I think he showed some good boxing skills. In fact, both men. I think Watkins showed more heart than boxing skills, but Chamberlain showed more skills. And yeah, man, I thought he pulled off a good victory. I think was it round 10 or 11 when they were both going just at it, and absolute slugfest. That was a proper British tear up. You know what I mean? One of them ones. But no, man, it's all good to Chamberlain, and onwards and upwards for Luke Watkins. Well, to be honest with you, I didn't really know him before he fought Okolie. I mean, I knew of him, but he hadn't really done anything special. And to be fair, it looks like he's not really going to be doing anything special. But yeah, so I think Chamberlain, now that he's got rid of his conning uncle, he can start saving some peas, invest it into his boxing career, and move on. Yeah, who's next?
Yeah, I forgot about his calling uncle.
God,
Oh,
God,
nice, man. Nah, man, I thought it was a great fight. It was good to see two people meet in the middle of the ring and just throw it down. Obviously, they threw too much. You could tell later on in the rounds that whatever they were trying to throw didn't really seem to do much to them. But mate, I think it was very close to a draw personally. And if it weren't for Chamberlain knocking in Watkins down in that last round, then I think it would have been a draw, to be honest with you. But hats off to Chamberlain, man. He's done all right. And Watkins, mate. I like them both. It was good. It was nice to see a good fucking brawl, mate. And that's what I like. For me, as a boxing fan, I like a brawl. Do you know what I mean? Yes, I know there's other fighters out there. I'm not going to mention their names at the moment. I'm not talking about them. But there's other fighters out there who are technically gifted, but are bore fests. Do you know what I mean? They just bore me to death. Do you know what I mean? But that was a decent fight yesterday. Liked it a lot. Unlucky and well done to Chamberlain. Unlucky to Watkins.
Oh yeah, just a quick one before Stephen comes on. I don't know if you lot can see, but we've got a little chat between ourselves. Yeah, can anyone see it in the Hangouts? A group chat between us. Yeah. So if you've got any notes in that, just post them in there. Stephen, you might want to have a look. I'll just post one to you, mate. Go on, Stephen. Anyway, you can crack on.
Chamberlain, I thought he could have put him away at any point in the fight if he really wanted to. I think when he lets his hands go, he's pretty slick. Watson, I didn't really rate him. I thought he was quite two-dimensional, really. But yeah, it's a good finish at the end to put him down as well. But yeah, I don't know where they're both going to go from here. I don't know. I don't think that either of them are world level. I think they're both kind of European, maybe touching on world level, but they won't win a world title.
They're still young, but yeah, I think you're right. Oh, just quickly, where's this chat thing now? I can't see nothing.
There's a group chat. Or because I'm on my computer, I don't know what it's like. Is there not like a chat icon in like a blue chat icon or anything like in your Hangouts?
No, it's nothing. All I've got is call and video and mute.
Yeah.
The thing that stood out for me about Chamberlain last night was, do you think if that Chamberlain had turned up against Okolie, it could have been a bit of a different fight?
No,
I think Okolie's too good for him.
I think Okolie's rubbish.
I do. I think it could have been a different fight.
I think he's right. I think Okolie just spoils every fight, and he'll ruin every fighter because of his style. He's so unorthodox. It's actually not. It's not nice to watch.
Who, Okolie?
Yeah, but hang on a minute. I'll tell you what. Hang on, everyone. Look, I'll tell you what. Let's let Ellis and Hakan have their little 2 minutes, and then we'll have a little back and forth about this bit. Yeah.
Okay, boss.
Go on, then, Ellis. Carry on.
Yeah,
Don't ask no more questions.
Because obviously, that's probably both Chamberlain and Okolie's probably both of their biggest fights. And did Chamberlain let it get to him a little bit and was slightly overawed by it, whereas Okolie, like you said, Stephen, stunk the place out, spoiled it, and just took the win. Like, I thought the last Okolie fight as well was terrible. Like, almost to the point where he's so unorthodox, I can't even watch him.
I think Okolie is a Wilder 2.0 personally, mate.
He's the wrong way.
I think he's got raw punching power.
Hang on. Let him finish, man. Let him finish. I can't still got his go yet.
No, I'm done on it.
Are you done?
Yeah, it's just one of them where you can't tell me any different. I just don't rate him. It's like you and Ozil House. You don't rate him. That's how it goes.
Yeah, exactly. You have that personal opinion with him. I know what you mean by Okolie. I just think with Okolie though, I just think he's just got that power. You know, he's really I think he's a shit fighter. He's got that power, and that power gets him through them kind of fights.
Yeah,
right.
But go on, can you?
So,
bit of a Herbie High.
just to confirm, we're speaking about last night's fight. Chamberlain
Yeah,
Watson,
yeah,
aren't we?
yeah. Well, we're supposed to be, yeah,
Dragged off to a collie.
yeah,
Right, okay,
yeah.
well, yeah, the fight itself, I thought it was a good competitive fight, obviously. Obviously, there's similar levels. A collie basically knocked Watkins out, made it look light work. And Chamberlain, he old-manned him and buoyed him, basically. Pushed him and bullied him around that ring. A collie's too big for them boys at cruiserweight. He spars with heavyweight. He's going to go up to heavyweight in the next couple of years. But regarding the fight last night, I thought it was a good competitive fight.
All right, cool. And hey, and just for you, Bunge, yeah, just remember that a collie's a vegan, yeah, and man's just boying them out. So you boys are saying that vegans are weak and that.
Fucking vegan, man. What's up with you?
Hey, but we didn't teach him his technical ability though.
Hey, give me a sausage roll any day, man.
No, I must admit though, a Coley man, yeah, he's he. Do you know what? I think if Chamberlain would have fought like that, let his hands go against the Coley, it would have been I think it would have been a different fight. Maybe not a different outcome, but it would have been a better fight because the thing is with a Coley, no one's really swung at him yet. He hasn't really tested anyone that's going to come forward and try and actually believe that they can beat him. I think everyone that he's beaten everyone before they've actually stepped in the ring with him. And I think as the levels go up, I think you're going to see him get chin because I mean his technique is yeah, he has learnt from Wilder, man. He must have, because his technique is awful, man. His chin's out there, like
He
he's
came really, really successful.
Look how many fights he's had, guys. Look how many fights he's had. And look what he's achieved.
yeah. But he's achieved, but that's what I'm saying. Though he's achieved it, yeah, without fighting anyone that's really like gonna like really put it on him, if you know what I mean.
The sauce.
Well, like man's coming like stale sauce, blood.
He's flipping burgers not smell good, wasn't he?
Coming like
Burger
crackers.
sauce. Man, I do the burger sauce, fam.
I think right. He's too big for that weight, and he's not big enough for a heavyweight because he's too skinny. So he's just sitting at that weight because he knows he's going to be big at that weight. He's too.
Nah, but do you know what? I don't even think he's too heavy for the weight because he's mobile enough. He's just got bad technique. That's all. He just needs to learn how to box properly. You know what I mean?
I know, but I feel like he's taking an easy route because he won't step up to heavyweight because he knows he'll get banged out. There'll be people bigger than him.
Yeah, of course,
that
man.
Weight, he dominates that weight.
Yeah, but you got to think, what's the point in him stepping up to heavyweight? He's naturally 13, 14. He's naturally 14 stone. Like, what's the point in him like stepping up to heavyweight?
He's like 6'6".
Huh?
He's like 6'6". He's like AJ style.
Yeah, but still, you got to think the cruiserweight division as well is popping, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's some good fights for him out there, man. I think
is he cruiserweight or light heavyweight?
It's cruiserweight.
Cruiserweight.
What, yards light heavyweight, though, isn't he?
Yeah, yards like heavyweight. Boats is like heavyweight.
Casual.
Yeah. So anyway, that's enough of that fight. That was the only good fight, really, innit? Ryder won his fight. Actually, that was a good fight. Actually, yeah. He's got. What's he? He's so what? He's mandatory for whose title now?
Apparently, Callum Smith.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But I bet you any money, I can tell you exactly what's going to happen.
Callum Smith's going to end up fighting Canelo.
Yeah.
No, this is exactly what's going to happen. I don't think Canelo go after that. I think Canelo will win it off Rocky Fielding, the WBA regular. Then relinquish the WBA regular super middleweight to go back down to middleweight. Then Ryder will fight someone for the vacant regular title.
Yeah. And then what? He goes back down to middleweight and faces who? Jacobs? Unified?
Yeah. Well, apparently that's the talk, Jacobs. But, that's to be seen.
I think he'll beat Jacobs as well. Actually.
All right.
Oh,
Hang on. Before we get on to Jacobs Canelo, let's talk about Jacobs and last night, Derevchenko, because that was a fight and a half. We'll start off with Hakan. Hakan, you can go first. Hassan, you can go second. Stephen, you third. Ellis, you can go after Stephen, and I'll go after Ellis. So go on, Hakan.
So, last night, after the commentary, which we done, chilled out for a little bit, put my alarm on for 3 o'clock. and my alarm woke me up 3 o'clock, and it woke me up beautifully at perfect timing.
What said you?
I watched it this
I
morning.
tell you what, and I was able to stay up and watch it. Usually, sometimes my eyes start dropping, but it was just such an entertaining fight throughout. Jacobs dropping him early, and it was just like, well, can he finish him off? But Derevchenko just kept him coming back strong. He's only had 13 fights, you know that.
Yeah, but how many about 300 amateur?
Yeah, 300 or 400 amateur. But do you know what I mean? That still says a lot to be fighting for a world title. Golovkin had the chance to fight him, but he didn't fight him and ended up getting stripped from the IBF. That's the reason why it was vacant. So no one really wanted to fight him. And yeah, I thought it was a really good, entertaining fight. Go on, Jacobs, for winning it. Miracle Man does it again.
Would you say it was a deserved fight? I'll be honest with you, I've only watched a few highlights of it.
Yeah. I would say. To be honest, I had Jacobs up for around about 2 rounds plus the knockdown, so around about 3 rounds up. But yeah, it weren't too far away from like 1 or 2. To be fair, a couple of them rounds could have gone either way.
Do you know what I mean?
Go on, Hassan.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I've only seen a couple of games. I didn't see a lot of it, if I'm to be totally honest with you boys. I watched the highlights of it, and I thought it was a really good fight of the highlights I saw. Definitely seemed very even to me, but when I was looking through the comments on certain posts today, some people were saying that Davchenko should have won. Some people were saying Wilder should have won. Not Wilder, fucking Wilder.
You're in love with that bloke, ain't you?
Fuck Wilder, I hate him.
You got Wilder on the brain, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a bit.
He needs to buck wild.
Do you know what I mean? So it was a bit of them. But yeah, I mean, what I saw, it looked like a very good fight, and a lot of people said it was a good fight. That's why I wanted to ask that question to Hakan. But yeah.
Go on, Stephen.
It reminded me a little bit of Canelo Triple G's first fight, where Triple G was just hunting him down, and Canelo was on the back foot. And I watched quite a few. I missed some of the middle rounds because I just got bored and I had to go out. So I watched all the last 3 rounds and the first 4, and it looked pretty even. But I would probably give it to Jacobs because he landed some of the bigger power punches. Although he did get caught a few times as well. But yeah, it was good fight. Good, right person won.
Sorry, can someone mute their mic? Whoever's eating it out of a bowl or something.
But he didn't look as sharp. I don't know what it felt like. Jacobs wasn't really. Didn't feel like as himself. He kept the cornerman kept having to like wake him up every round and put him back on the game plan. He felt like he was a bit not out of his depth at all. But he was in with someone who was trouble, and he knew that. So he was a bit more cautious than I've seen him on other fights. And I didn't think he looked as sharp as he did in his last fight either. But that's just maybe my observation. But he still deserved to win. But I didn't think his performance was that good, if I'm honest.
Go on, Ellis. You see it?
Stephen, how can you say that?
Last round.
He deserved to win. Sorry, Ellis. He deserved to win. Yeah. He didn't look that good, but you missed half the fight.
I mean,
that's typical Stephen, man.
After 12 rounds, I watched probably about 8 of them. I thought I missed some of the middle rounds.
Hey, remember that he got bored and went out?
No, I had to go out. I had to drive to Nottingham today, so I had to go.
Which is Nottingham?
Allow that shit, man. I don't care about that shit. Anyways, Ellis, man, talk the thing there, bro.
So yeah, I watched the last round, so I ain't really got too much to say on it. Sounds like you boys pretty much covered everything.
I'm just
looking forward to the special topic of the night. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, I'll give my quick review on it. I watched it. Yeah, man. I woke up at 3 o'clock as well. Like Hakan, I watched it, man. And boy, do you know what? I'm glad I did, man, because that was a fucking good fight, man. I really enjoyed it. From the first round to the 12, it was just, excuse my language, man, but it was just, for me, that was just a proper boxing match. That's what I like to watch. You know what I mean? Action, flipping chess match. Derevchenko, man, hats off to him, man. He gave it that European straightforward square style, just try and walk through the man. But Jacobs was just too slick. You know what I mean? He was too slick. Yeah, he got caught a couple of times, but shit, man, this is boxing. You know what I mean? You're gonna get hit. But nah, Jacobs again for me. I think Jacobs is underrated as a boxer. I think really technically he is. He's up there, man. Technically, he's up there, man. You know what I mean? I don't know if you see like some of the body shots that he was coming with, like you know what I mean, like on the back foot. Yeah, them uppercuts on the back foot. You know what I mean. He's hitting like 3-4 shots on the back foot, combos. You know what I mean, to the body, uppercuts, overhand rights. And Derevchenko just didn't know where the shots were coming from. You know what I mean? He's switching to southpaw, switching to orthodox. Yeah, man, and not to be funny, but that did you see the scorecard at the end? What's that woman, the daughter of the Letterman, yeah, Jenny Letterman or whatever her name is. Mate, she had Derevchenko winning. I don't know what she's been smoking, man. She needs to lay off them thing there, bro. But
114 to 113 or something, wasn't it?
yeah, the Derevchenko, I can't believe it. I nearly fell out my seat. But nah, man, yeah, big up Jacobs, man. He deserved a win, and hopefully he gets them big fights. You know what I mean, with Canelo as well. That would be the obvious one for a unified. Who's the WBO? Who won the WBO again last week? Oh yeah, Andrade. Andrade's out there as well.
Demetrius.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And they're all on the zone. 2 of them are with Eddie, so you know what I mean. You never know. Obvious fights out there, but yeah. So yeah, that's my take on it. So that's all the boxing then, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Cool. All right then. So yeah, man. So we're gonna go to our next little segment, which is basically each week, one of the panels gonna choose a question, a topic to discuss. We'll have our little 2 bobs. Literally, we'll just do a quick thing. Yeah, a little 3-minute from each person. Don't start going into a big old Bible session, Hassan. And yeah, so today's question is going to be so it's 10 years since Tottenham sacked One Day Ramos. Who remembers One Day Ramos?
One
Bad
day.
man.
Well,
One day, one da day, one day, one da day.
Living ledge, mate. Living ledge.
Hang on, Hassan. Before you button, let me just finish off the statement, son. Before you cut me off.
Mate.
Yeah, so it's been 10 years since they sacked One Day Ramos, and it's also 10 years since they won their last trophy. Does anyone remember what that trophy was?
Carling Cup.
Oh, well done. That's 10 points for you. The Carling Cup. You know what I mean? So the question, well, not even the question, because the debate is obviously winning no trophies in the last 10 years. Is Tottenham a bigger club now than what they was before when they won their trophy? And then before that, you won another Carling Cup, didn't you, with George Graham, didn't you?
No.
What is the definition of big club? What definition?
It's kind of relevant.
Yeah, but I'm not joking. That's a long ass question.
That is a long ass question. We'll put that. I'll tell
you
you what,
Stephen. It depends on what sort of answer we give. If he's talking about money, then it's obviously they're not obviously going to be a bigger club.
To be fair, we don't need to go into that question right now because it is just on Tottenham itself. But we can say, I mean, we can generalize that question, obviously, within the answer that you give. So, for instance, so is Tottenham a bigger club now than what they was 10 years ago when they were winning trophies?
Can you let me answer that?
Go on, Hassan, as you're itching, bursting from the seams, so I'll let you go first. Oh, but listen. I'm going to time everybody here. We've got 3 minutes each, yeah? So
you can't ask me a question about my team.
Oh, because you're going to take up the whole. You're going to take up the next hour, bro.
I'm going to take no one shit tonight about this.
All right. I'll tell you what then. All right, I'll tell you what. Yeah. All right. You can say your piece. Yeah. Listen, hang on. One thing. Yeah. One thing. We'll let you say your piece. Yeah. We'll let you say your piece. No one will interrupt you. Okay. No one will interrupt anyone. Can everyone just mute their mics while Hassan says his piece? And then when you finish, Hassan, so you can say you're finished, and then we can move on to the next person. All right?
Can I just say something before we start? So we just need to put it out there to the viewers. The following content may include about disturbing footage.
Right, okay, look. Do I think we're a bigger and better club than we was before? 150%. Now, I'll tell you the reason why. 2008, Wado Ramos come in. He come in, right, with 2 games left into that cup final. So he took us into the semi-final and the final, yeah? And we won it. Fantastic, yeah? It was brilliant. But that year, we finished 11th. The following year, we got to the final again. We come runners up and we finished 8th, right? Harry Redknapp comes in now, right? Or Harry Redknapp come in after one because one didn't last long. Now, we finished 4th in 2010. Only time a club finishes 4th and don't make Champions League, right? Do you know why? Because Chelsea or someone like that, or Liverpool, no, Chelsea, or someone like that won the Thingy Cup, the Champions League, and took our spot off us, right? After that, we finished 4th, 5th, 4th, 5th, 6th, 5th, 3rd, 2nd, and 3rd last season, yeah? So that, to me, shows that we have by far a better team than we was then. We haven't won nothing, though, yeah? We've made the semi-final of the FA Cup on 2000 last season, the season before that, and 11-12 season. That's where we've got to. Now, sorry, one last thing. But our wage structure, right? Thinking about this as a top 6 team, right? Top 6, Man City spend £264 million a year. Manchester United, £263 million a year. Chelsea, £220 million. Liverpool, £207 million. Arsenal, £200 million. Spurs, £126.9 million. So my conversation to you guys last night was very simple, right? I feel that I'm a Spurs fan. Spurs are my heart, everything. You know, I love them to bits. But if we want to be really, really honest with this shit, we're punching above our weight at the moment. If you really, really want to be honest with it, we've spent no money. Our overall budget in incomes and outcomes in the last 5 years, and we're about plus £5 million. We spent £5 million. Yeah, to be where we are, to do what we've done in the last 4 years is an achievement. But don't get me wrong. I understand that this shit don't get you trophies, finishing 2nd, finishing 3rd, getting runners up. Don't finish you bollocks. Don't give you nothing. Playing Champions League football don't give you nothing. But we're more of a consistent Champions League team now than we've ever been. And that on its own, I just feel that we've progressed on that side of things. Yes, definitely. I'm done.
Oh, thank you very much, Hassan. That's a lovely, emotional, heartfelt statement you put out there.
Yeah, but I just don't need man mugging people off, you know what I mean? You've got to put into context what Spurs have done, with the resources that they've got. Let's say one last thing on that as well.
Spurs are my heart.
We've got the best training facilities in the UK, and we're arguably going to have the best stadium in Europe.
That's all subjective, mate.
It's not subjective because it is.
Yeah, mate, whatever.
Factual, mate.
Facts. What's the point of having the best shit if you're not winning anything? Don't make no sense. Anyway, Stephen, I let. Hey, your time.
Sorry, no, listen. Then I agree with you on that. There's no point having all that shit if you're not winning nothing. Go on, I'll be quiet.
All right, go on, Stephen. I'll let you have your go before we let in the other talk.
Mine will be short and sweet because I don't really have any thoughts on Tottenham at all, really. But what I would say, are they a bigger club now? I think no. I don't think they are a bigger club now, actually. And I say that because I think Hassan's only saying that because they're relevant again. Back then they were relevant, but they were winning trophies and they were winning European trophies, and you know they were known as a force around Europe. Whereas now, yes, they are a force, but are they really in European level? I don't think so. So I'd say on that front, they're not a bigger club now than they were. They're just as relevant, but they're not bigger. End. I'm done. What do you think of that?
Hey, Stephen, mate, what are you smoking, bro? What European trophies are Tottenham won, bro?
Well, I don't know. Bigger trophies.
You're chatting out your. Huh?
Didn't they? Haven't they? Tottenham never won a European trophy.
Not while you've been born. Not while you've been born.
But ideally, Glenmore, you're still my team, yeah? All right?
Listen. I'll tell you what, I can. You have your go. Go on, I can.
No, Ellis.
Who's the host of this show?
Let I can have his turn.
You want me to have a little spin?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I sort of echo what Haas was saying. I think when you're coming up and you're in the Champions League now, from when one day Ramos was here, Champions League was a dream, really and truly. Always got so close, but never actually got in there. But now we've been in there for a couple of seasons now, 2 or 3 seasons now. You can't say that we haven't progressed. When we're beating Real Madrid at home 3-1 like we did last year, 10 years ago, that would have been a dream. It would have been a dream just to play Real Madrid in the Champions League, not about playing and beat them. Do you know what I mean? So,
you're talking about 10 years. I'm talking. Oh, right. I guess.
It's true. I mean, I can't remember the last time.
I was talking about dreams of playing the next team with that.
Yeah, but no, 10 years ago when we won the Carling Cup under one day Ramos, with what we was paying, with what we was paying for players and what sort of squad and team we had, to think that we could beat Real Madrid, yeah, at home, yeah, and draw them away, something which Arsenal can't do, and
what do you mean, bro?
They always come up against big teams in the Champions League. They always fail.
10 years ago, blood. We was doing that.
Against who?
We was doing. What do you mean?
You was failing at the. You was failing when it come down to it.
When we went to the Premier League, Ellis,
when you playing the big games in the cup finals, last 16, you failed. You failed.
Have your say.
You failed though, and that's as simple as that. You failed. Yeah. So yeah, obviously we have progress. Going back to the conversation, we have progress about Tottenham. Yeah, and that's my say. You put me off, man. Don't get me on about that Arsenal crap. You got to fail.
I can't keep going.
No, I'm done. I'm done. Move on to this.
You know what
bullshit you've got to say.
You know what, right? The thing about it is Glenmore's done a sly one here, so now he's left Ellis and Glenmore last, right?
Of course, yes.
If you don't think I'm going to come back in with something,
then fucking...
But remember something, Glenmore.
Mate.
What? Glenmore, remember something. Your question was... Have Spurs progressed since 10 years ago?
Yes.
Yeah. That was your question.
Yeah. I'm not. And in my answer, I will answer that, and I will also take into consideration everything that you and Hakan has said. And I will put it into context. You know.
You tried a crafty one here, Hakan.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Bullshit.
Don't forget, it'll be your question next week, mate. So it's all good, isn't it?
But I'm not going to come with a question because they drew 2 against Palace today. That's what it was.
Exactly.
That's what it is. Bitterness.
Anyway,
we're
talking about look, this is what I mean. They call themselves beloved Tottenham fans, and they don't even want to talk about their own team.
Bitterness.
What kind of is that? You know what I mean?
I'm happy to do another one tomorrow night after the Spurs.
Anyway, listen. Right. Shall I go?
I'll go next. You can finish these boys off afterwards.
You just line them up for me, rude boy.
So, have Spurs progressed in the last 10 years? My answer would be yes, to a certain extent. They have. Like, it's unquestionable to the fact that, you know, the fact that they won something 10 years ago, and they've gone from having players that they had to breaking their transfer record with the likes of Davison Sanchez, signing players like Lucas Moura. They've also got one of the most underrated players in the league, and I think in Son. And also as well, I think whilst we're talking about them on a plus side, you've got to give it hats off to Spurs as well to a certain extent, because I think them paying around, 16 million, 17 million for Toby Alderweireld, probably one of the best transfer buys in recent years in the Premier League as well. I think on his day, he's probably one of the best, sickens me to say it, but he's probably one of the best defenders in the league, and they've done well to keep hold of him. However, you've got to look through the managers that they've been through to get to where they have, and it has been almost a little bit of trial and error. The fact that they had Clive Allen and Alex Inglethorpe and just sort of interims, and then moved on to Ari, AVB, Sherwood and Agile, and now they've got Pochettino. How long he'll be there for? Can they match his ambitions? Because to me, he's probably one of the best managers in the league. And, you know, is he really going to put up with a club that is not going to back him in terms of the transfer market? Because I think pretty much, other than the jobs that he's ruled himself out of, like the PSG job, he could probably go and be the next Real Madrid manager or the next Manchester United manager, two of the biggest jobs in world football. So from that point of view, you have to say, yes, they have progressed in the last 10 years. They've qualified for the Champions League 3 years in a row. They've got to the FA Cup FA Cup semi-final on 4 different occasions, 3 of which Arsenal went on to actually win the FA Cup in those 3 out of the 4 times as well. So, you know, but yeah, we're not talking about us. But yeah, I would say they have done. Have Spurs hit a glass ceiling? Where
No, that wasn't the question, mate. That wasn't the question.
Yeah.
Who's talking
we
here, me or you?
progressed?
You had your.
The question was.
Hey, pipe down,
was,
you
have we
flipping
progressed?
you
That
lot.
wasn't
Hey,
the question.
hey,
You just answered the question.
This is what I'm saying.
Glenroy,
Look,
your
I
turn.
agree with that.
no behaviour, no
Exactly.
manners. You see what I'm saying? You lot are like let go
Glenroy, what
beasts,
was the
man. You lot are like wild
Oh, it's my
animals out
heart.
here.
Stop talking
It's
about
my
it.
What
heart.
was the question, mate? Sorry, what was the question?
Listen,
Have Spurs progressed? And if you let me finish my
yeah,
answer,
let him exactly.
Thank you.
No one cut you lot off, did they? But
Get your fingers out the way,
you
man.
lot just got no behaviour, man.
No manners, man.
No manners.
so
Colin
what I
like
was
DT
going to
in
say
the
is,
man
have
then.
Spurs progressed? Yes, they have. Have they reached? Has their progression plateaued until they invest much further? Then I would say also yes, it has. So my answer would be yes, Spurs have progressed, but I also
That's
say
not the
they've got
question. The question is, are they a bigger club?
No, it isn't, you knobhead.
Turns up late, changes the question.
I know.
Right.
I know.
Matt, can I ask you a question, mate? Have you finished?
Gemroy, are you next?
Yeah, I'm next.
No, Matt. No, wait there, Matt. Have you finished your answer?
So my answer would be yes, Spurs have progressed, and I feel that they've just progressed as far as they can until they get much bigger investment.
Okay,
Fair
can I
answer.
just respond to Matt there, right? I'd like to say to you, Matt, I 100% agree with you. Because I believe...
Whoa,
now
hang on
we're
a minute.
at
Hang on a minute. We have a
No,
groundbreaking moment in YouTube footage here.
Listen. I agree with what you've said there because I believe we've progressed, but I also believe we've hit that ceiling where the next bit is we need to up our wage structure and we need to start spending a bit more bigger money on players to move to that next level. Do you
Go on,
understand me?
Jigger. Spread your
And I
BS.
go back to what I said, punching a little bit above our weight when I said it earlier on. Do you understand what I mean? And that's my point. Sorry, go on, Glenroy. I just want to, mate, just respect to Matt for being honest, and I was slagging him off earlier on WhatsApp. Do
Mate, you
know
should
what I
make
mean?
it so easy to get a bite.
But, you know, but
Shut up, man.
Go on. No,
Oh,
what are you
bro,
saying?
you're
Let's
killing me,
go.
bro.
Make me
I'll
sound
tell
like
you
you
what.
like
I'll tell you what, bro. You see, whenever the Spurs topic comes up, bro, you start going on some bad tangents and that, bro. I swear down.
Hey, bro, this will get you watches, mate. What's up with it?
Watches? You mean like views? I love a cut here if you dish out watches.
You have to start paying me to do it.
Oh, mate. All right. Well, look. First and foremost, I'll agree. Yeah, I do think Tottenham have progressed within the last 10 years on a whole as a football club. Yeah, you happy? But by the way, hang on. Before I even start, Matthew, I do love your screen.
Do you like my
saver thing.
screenshot, by the way?
Yeah, he's a legend, isn't he? He's a real legend in
Mate,
North London.
I can
Both
only
sides,
ever see-
both
all I
sides,
can
both
see-
sides of the pond.
The only
I
man to
can't
win
even
lift,
see
the only
that,
man
man.
to lift the league title at White Hart Lane in 60 odd years.
Wait, on mine, all I've got is a picture of a man.
Oh, God. What?
Anyway, Glenroy, answer the question.
Yeah.
Or you finished?
So, well, basically, nah. Nah. You lot have, I feel like you lot have progressed over the last 10 years. I think it's been like Ella said, it has been a bit trial and error. There were the days when, you know what I mean, we used to actually I used to love it because we used to just literally like every week was a piss take against the Spurs. But over the last couple of years, you lot have turned it around. Since Harry came, he stabled the ship and that, and then Pochettino coming in now has pushed it onto a new level.
You mean Harry Redknapp? Yeah, not Harry Kane.
Yeah, Harry Redknapp. Yeah, Harry Redknapp. Yeah. Where I stand with Tottenham now is I feel like you guys are definitely up there. But I feel like, yeah, like I feel like you do need some new investments in your like coming in. I don't think Daniel Levy's really got the money to, or Joe Lewis or whoever it is that funds you guys. I don't know whether they've got the full backing to push out them big transfers when you need it. You know what I mean? Like for instance, like obviously not spending anything in this transfer window. Fair enough, you got your stadium and that being built and everything, and just like us, you know what I mean? Like we went through the same things, the same sort of thing. But even when we were still signing, but we were just signing some real shocking players. You know what I mean? The Pascal Segons and
Silvestre.
Sylvester's. You know what I mean? But it was as players though, just to see you through. You know what I mean? Which Tottenham haven't done. And I think that there's only so much. I think there's only so far Levy can take you. Or who is your like, who is like the guy? Is it Joe
Joe
Lewis?
Lewis, and then Levy's his little sergeant.
Levy's a chairman. Joe Lewis
is the owner.
Joe Lewis is the owner. He owns. Well, in fact, he owns like 65% or 70% of ENIC, and and Daniel Levy owns 35%. Look,
Okay.
Joe Lewis is worth £3 million, mate. But you know, he
3
doesn't
billion.
invest. And we try to run our club on a Gilroy. We try to run our club like on a financial business way, which doesn't really work in football in that way. If that makes sense. But, you know, it's run properly.
Like to be fair, like I just see like right now, yeah, I see Tottenham basically as we were like 6, 7 years ago. I can just see the same things that are happening to you guys. Like we went through it, and it's just a replay of everything that's happening. And I think that, but I think where we were tight, we still went out there and done little bits and bobs here and there. Where I think you lot are just really just living on the edge, like proper living on the edge. And I think like with the stadium and everything, I think it's either going to tip one or two ways. You know what I mean? You're either going to keep riding it until the stadium gets built, and even when you move into the stadium, it's going to take you 2 or 3 years to really get back up there, even with the spending of the transfer. Because it's reported that you lot are looking for another 500 million loan, isn't he, Levy?
No, we've got a loan at the moment. That because obviously you can't get loans on buildings that are not completed. Do you know what I mean? So we had a loan that was meant to cover us up until the stadium was complete. Then we would have borrowed more of a secure loan on that against that. So that's kind of like putting pot on the back burner. So basically, we kind of like got a bridging loan out at the moment.
Oh yeah.
So that's that. But once the stadium's built, then obviously we'll get the loan, a proper loan in place to pay it off. Obviously.
See, that's what I mean. And it's little things like that. That's just like why wasn't all this sorted out in the beginning? You know what I mean? Like with all the delays, why wasn't it sorted out in the beginning? It just seems like everything just seems to be on a
I'll be honest. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I just think that everything just seems everything just seems to be on a very tight budget. You know what I mean? Like you're trying to make £1 billion stadiums and try and spend in 300 mil. You know what I mean? And it's just something's just I don't know. I just don't think Levy's honest with the fans. I just don't think he's honest with anyone really. You know what I mean? And I just think that Tottenham as a football club, like at the moment, you're performing like you said better than really what you should be for what you spend, what you everything. But I think that's only going to take you so far. And I also think that that Pochettino sooner or later, I think is just going to think, you know what, I mean, there's only so many opportunities you can turn down to go to the big boys. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's me. But overall, I think I've progressed. But I think unless something happens drastically, then it could all go visibly wrong.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think on the business sense of things, I think Levy's too shrewd for that shit. So like, but I mean, that's on a business as on the things that I don't really stress about the everything else, i.e. the stadium and that. Do you know what I mean? But I'll go back to Ellis. What Ellis said, we do need to make an investment. We do need to buy players of a certain quality. We don't need to buy anyone. We need to buy players of a certain quality, and we need to start up in our market. Going back again to Alderweireld, you know what I mean? Like top man, do you know what I mean? Arguably one of the best centre backs in the Premier League on his day, yeah. But the problem with it is why are we as Spurs fucking stuttering about giving him a 3-4 year contract for 150 grand a week or 175 grand a week? Do you understand what I mean? He's more than good enough for that. And as it's shown in previously, i.e. like Juventus centre backs, you only get better as you get older as a centre back. To be fair, if you're a top class centre back, so we should be spending that money on him. You know what I mean? I think we're stupid to let him go. I also think it was a stupid idea to let Kyle Walker go, mate, because Kyle Walker should have been. I think since we left, we've lacked that width that we had that season before.
I think,
but it is what it is, mate.
Like, I kind of, in a weird way, like I kind of understand what Pochettino, why he got rid of Walker, because, and you said it previous, I think in last week's episode, that Pochettino is very much about the team environment, and you've all got to be pulling in the same direction. Like, to a certain extent, he doesn't give a shit who you are. And there was reports of like, was it in the semi-final where he dropped Walker and Walker stormed out and stuff like that, and the way he like kind of touted himself to City a little bit, and as well, I think to a certain extent, like
it had to go. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. For the good of the group, he had to go, and that's why, like I'm surprised, like to a certain extent, Eric Dyer's still there, because he made it no secret that he would have been open to a move to United that year that they were talking about
going. And Danny Rose as well.
Yeah. So.
But do you know what though? I think you're right. But you know what? On that note, I think like this year, I think because we didn't buy no one, I think Maurizio had to change the weight himself a little bit and turn around and say, "Right, give everyone a clean slate. This is what I expect from you." You know what I mean? And he's had to do that. I obviously, regarding Toby. To be fair, Toby's never even come out and never said he wanted to leave Spurs.
No.
Never touted himself to anybody. So I'll give him respect for that.
Yeah, definitely.
As for Rose and obviously that little picture of Dyer, yeah, but I think we make mistakes. And
I don't think Dyer would be a great loss to you guys either.
No.
As
like the money you would get for him, like I think it was Allardyce that came out with one of the most stupid things I've ever heard in my life the other week. Eric Dyer is better
than Busquets.
Yeah, I mean, come on now.
Who said that?
The Walrus again. He's off on one.
Sam Allardyce.
Who said that?
Yeah.
Who said that? Oh right. I mean, Dyer. Don't get me wrong. You see, Dyer's good to be in any team, mate. He can get into any top 6 team. When I say not starting any top 6 squad, because he's got so much flexibility. You know what I mean? He's one of the utility guys. You can play him right back, you can play him centre back, you can play him holding midfielder. Just what I'm saying to you. So he gives you them options there. Do you know what I mean? And he's quite a big presence. But yeah, I don't know.
Do you think it'll come to a point where, like, the way the cost of the stadium is spiralling and stuff like that there will come a time where you have to go through like what we had to do in terms of, to a certain extent, selling off one of your top assets year upon year in order to pay for the stadium move?
I think it will.
And if it came to it, who would be, if you had to lose one from your current squad that's going to command mega money, who do you think it's going to be?
I think we lost him for a sec.
Oh, no wonder he's gone quiet. But I honestly feel like, and as much as I like take the piss out of him and stuff like that, if they don't win anything for another 2-3 years, I mean,
man, I say 2 years, man.
Yeah, it's going to get to the point where, to a certain extent, Harry Kane's got to make up his mind, right?
Exactly.
Does he want something other than the Golden Boot?
Yeah.
To show for his career at the end of it. And this isn't I'm not trying to get a bite out of him or anything like that. Is he going to look at it and say 2 years' time where he goes on to score another 40 league goals within that time, and someone comes in for him, whether it be a United, because I can only see Kane if he was to leave Spurs to go to United. I don't think he's the type of striker that City would go after.
Nah,
I'd like to.
I can see him going abroad though. I think he's a type of player that will go abroad.
Yeah. I was going to say I could only really see him going to, and the only clubs that would have the Harry Kane money that he's going to come on. Because let's be honest, like his goal records speak for itself. In today's market, he's going for 150, 200 mil. As much as I feel that there are better strikers out there, that's what a goal scorer of that caliber that's getting you consistent 25 league goals a year.
Yeah,
I don't think he'll move to another Premier League club.
No, I think if he was to move to one, it would be to United. And the reason why I say that is because as much as their league reflection isn't a true reflection of the stature of the club, Manchester United are still the biggest footballing institution in this country, regardless of where they are in the league, regardless of City, whatever. They are still the biggest in my eyes.
But I don't know. There's something about Kane where I could see him going to Real Madrid.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I agree with that. He seems that sort of lad that likes to tan, slick his hair back. You know what I mean?
He'll find a good speech therapist out there, and
a bit like Bex. You know what I mean? A bit like Bex in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
But yeah, 100%. I'm not disagreeing with you boys on that.
If we're speaking of we mentioned your last 10 years, let's also give a shout out to Timothy Sherwood with his gilet, because realistically, if it weren't for him, would Harry Kane still be at Spurs? Because he was the one that had the balls to give him a chance.
Give him a chance, yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, true, very true.
So, you know.
Don't tell Sherwood that, though.
He's probably still dining out on it, to be fair.
So, yeah, Tim Sherwood reminds me of Carl Frotch, mate.
Hassan, a question to you. How many years do you give it to win a trophy, any trophy, before you start asking questions about where the club's going?
The problem with it is, Glenboy, is I've got no choice in the matter. Do you know what I mean? I'm one of them fans that I'll always support the chairman as long as he's doing something the right way. And in my opinion, look, Daniel Levy was our highest paid player last year. Do you know that?
Yeah, I know. That's crazy.
Do you know what? But you know what? That is how it should be. But that is not how football is now.
Exactly. So that should just tell you something, can it? That's what I mean.
Yeah, but that's why I always think that everything is done and run properly at Spurs. But is it the right way for football? I don't think it is, mate. Not for a big club. But look, again, I don't really know, man. Gilmore, I don't really know. We're still making top four. We'd always have this thing in our back of our heads that we just bought a new stadium. We've got to pay that off. As long as we continue to make the top four, then things are all right. But we do need to win a trophy. I don't disagree with you on that. Yeah. But it is what it is. Let me ask you a question then, or whoever's left on it. Mm-hmm. Where do you think Spurs will finish this year?
I think it's too early to tell.
I think
this league could be the most. I think this league won't be a case of there are 3 different leagues within the Premier League this year. Where I think you will have. I think it'll be close. I think like anything, it could be a case of. Look, I know we're all Man United are kind of like the butt of the jokes.
It's going to be 3rd or 4th, isn't it? It's going to be us and them boys for 4th spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's a 3-horse race for the title.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I think Chelsea will fall off come towards February next year.
The only thing with Chelsea is Chelsea not in the Champions League. That's the only plus I give it to them. You go back to when Leicester won the league, when Chelsea were to finish 7th or something like that.
If Hazard,
then the next year they won the league.
If Hazard stays fit, I think they've got a chance though.
Yeah.
Baller.
Yeah, best in the league for me.
Yeah, definitely.
It is at the moment.
Definitely.
Definitely is at the moment. But yeah. All right. I think that was a fair adjustment of Tottenham Hotspur from 2 Arsenal fans, so I'm happy with that.
So you went easy on you, man.
Yeah, see?
It ain't
You
even
thought-
easy, mate. You're just being honest, and that's what we've got to be.
Yeah, of course. There's no need to throw your toys out the pram before we've even started, is there?
Right.
Gonna get
Yeah,
the
just
Phoenix
have
out
to
for
watch
you.
out for you, man. There, you know what I mean?
So what, are we going to be brave enough to let Hassan have the topic of the week next week?
Yeah, Hassan, you can have the topic of the week.
Or
next.
you can be brave enough for that.
Yeah, man. We can. Listen, bro. Remember, so we're the Gunners, bro. Anything you want to fire, man, we'll fire back, boy.
All right, then, cool.
All right. So, any other business?
What's your predict? All right, well, things. That's predictions for tomorrow night. What we saying?
Oh yeah, City. Where's it at?
Wembley.
What? The neutral stadium.
Yeah. Oh, what the stadium? You seen the state of the pitch?
Yeah, they had the NFL on it. That might work to your favour, to be fair.
Yeah, sort of football Tottenham playing it.
Yeah, maybe. Do you know what I mean? Maybe.
Some
We'll
dirty
see.
pictures.
But yeah, go on then. What's your predictions, boys?
I can't see past the City win, to be honest.
Score.
I'm going to go. Who's in goal?
I know, mate. Most probably Norwich, to be honest with you.
I'm going to go 3-1 City.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I was going
I'll
to
be honest with you. Obviously, as a Spurs fan, I'm always going to back my team. If we want me to be honest, I don't favour us tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I'll take a draw now. I'll take
Sure
a
you
draw.
would.
Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's going to be a really hard game. Way Man City play. Wouldn't surprise me if they put us under locks. And yeah, don't know, mate. You might be right in your 3-1 prediction, but I'll take a draw now.
Yeah, I say 3-1. If Ellis is going 3-1, actually, I'll say something different. So shall I go 4-1 then? That's a bit too much, isn't it? I'll say 2-0 then. 2-0 City.
The thing about it is, though, I don't want to slag Spurs off because I fucking am my team, but the thing about it is, you say 4-1, but 4-1 to a team like City or Liverpool is average.
The thing is, yeah, it'll probably be like 2-1, yeah, and then Tottenham will probably go and push forward, obviously trying to get the equaliser, and they'll just hit you with two goals on the counter. Bang, through.
That's exactly like what happened
You know what I mean?
in Barcelona.
Yeah, you know, so.
You know what I mean?
I'll say 4-1 actually, yeah, go 4-1.
Yeah, and what worries me at the moment about Spurs is we have these tendencies to switch off at certain times in games that cost us goals.
Yeah, but it does take time when you're new to the Champions League. It does take time to.
Yeah, but whether it's Champions League or Premier League, mate, we'll still do it. So, like, tomorrow's a big game at the end of the day.
No,
if we win tomorrow, we'll go joint second.
Yeah, but with regards to you guys in the Champions League, like, and this ain't a piss take. Like, do you remember when Man U first got into it years ago? They used to have some funny results when they first started in it, and especially like us as well. Like, it takes time.
We would lose teams like Dynamo Kiev and all that. You know what I mean? That's my thing.
So,
anyway, you know what? Just a quick one mad thing, right? I can't believe that we've got no fucking. We don't know who's fucking dead or not. If the chairman's dead or not.
Oh, Leicester.
Leicester, yeah.
Yeah, anyway, man, I don't want to talk about that on there. Too tough, bro. It's too much, man. It's all a bit.
Yeah, just makes you think, don't it? Like,
yeah, because they left off the pitch, innit?
You always get dropped off on the pitch, and ball gets picked up on the pitch as well.
But I was reading today, he flies in from Bangkok to London to every game.
Yeah, every game, and he's proper kind. Like he's like,
proper nice.
Gave the money to the hospital, like helped the city and everything.
Mm-hmm.
He's you know, like you get some of these chairmen, these owners that are just not about anything but greed. You know what I mean? Like, he's a total. He's actually one of the good ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I haven't heard anyone say, like, some of the tributes I've been listening to today on like the radio and the TV and that, like, people were saying, like, genuinely what a nice man he was, and like how caring he was and humble he was and stuff like that. It was just I think it was Souness today said he's actually one of the nice guys.
It's crazy.
You know what I'd love to know, mate, is what actually fucking happened, mate.
Yeah.
What happened? It's mad, isn't it?
And whoever else was on there as well.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's more
right then, boys.
But yeah, so
tonight.
Wrap it up for that.
Yeah, good chat.
Good night then, fellas.
Yeah, so we're back next week. In fact, don't forget, people, anyone watching, just quickly hit the like button, please. Thumbs up button. You know what I mean? Leave comments if you want. Hit the subscribe button and also hit the bell button, and that will let you know whenever we go live or we post a video or whatnot. We'll be back next week, Sunday, 8 o'clock. Hassan will have the.
Oh,
Subject to
that's
change.
the evening of Arsenal Liverpool, isn't it?
Oh, isn't it Sunday? Is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
Arsenal Liverpool.
yeah,
that's not a good time to have a show.
yeah.
That's part and parcel of it, man. We've got to do it.
Yeah. All right then, people. So yeah, so we'll see you next week. Hassan, say goodbye to the peeps.
Yeah, respect, Bill.
Cool, brethren. Cool. Ellis.
Bye.
See you later, people, and don't forget Sol Campbell has won the double.
Yeah, really.
Only one team in North London, so oh yes. So until next week, peeps. We'll see you later.